And all right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Emmanuel Indefor, and I manage growth for Upkey. We do work with Morgan State University, hence the webinar. The goal for the webinar is to really touch on key elements that students or entry-level candidates would need to really be competitive in the economic landscape that we are currently going into. And the title of today's webinar is how to use LinkedIn effectively during an economic downturn. Now, as I mentioned before, I have a great grasp of the platform, but I know there are other folks that, engage on the platform much better than I do, and they know the platform extensively. Hence why I have an amazing co-host and panelist today, Brian Shulman, and he is just a LinkedIn and a video master. He does everything from video content creating and his business, and his whole mojo is to ensure that people can brand themselves and have a voice. And what better place to do that than LinkedIn? So Brian, if you can take it away, introduce yourself. I would love to do that, but I know you can do a better job than I can.
I don't know about all that, but but I appreciate it. So it's great to be with all of you. Usually I have someone else do this, but I'll do it for you. No worries. So known as the godfather of LinkedIn video, one of the world's top LinkedIn video, or I should say one of the world's top video marketing experts. I've been on the internet since it was green screen and chat rooms. 21 years of proven digital marketing experience, strategizing with IR 500, Fortune 500 brands across the globe. I'm a Forbes featured entrepreneur, a LinkedIn top voice. I'm the founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe, which is my company. Serve on a number of boards, and I'm a trusted advisor and mentor to founders and companies across the world. I was named a 2019 LinkedIn Video Creator of the Year, one of the pioneering top LinkedIn Video and LinkedIn Live creators in the world. And I'm a sought after international speaker. I do speaking engagements throughout the year. In July of 2019, I broke the LinkedIn Live record of broadcasting live for more than 4 hours. And through workshops and one-on-one mastery coaching, I teach founders, C-suite execs, and their teams who want to find their voice, show up, and don't know how to voice their vibe, attract their tribe, and tell a story that people will fall in love with on LinkedIn through video. Oh, you're on mute.
You see, I do this all the time, and I always forget, and I just start talking. But how do you think I would have done a better job than that? I think that's just an amazing, intro about what you do and other things that we expect other students, the attendees here to understand about your background, but more importantly for them to start framing the set of questions that they would like to ask, because the goal for this webinar is to make it very interactive. It's a small group, and I want to make sure that if there are very specific elements that you want to touch on LinkedIn, we definitely go about that. And give you that value. So about Upkey, we have a lot of products that we do help students and enterprises with. I won't go into the details. If you want to know more about what we do, you can go to upkey.com and you'll see our services. We work with Morgan State, so it is free for you. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight is the virtual internship program that we are creating. I'm actually leading this project. And the goal is to really help displaced candidates and students that have lost their internship and jobs with opportunities to gain real world leadership skills, entrepreneurship skills, to tell them and give them hope to say, hey, the fact that you lost your internship, there is still hope for you. But more importantly, build on the skills that they need to be competitive in the job market. If you want to apply, you have to go to upkey.com/internships. The application closes May 8th, and we have so far gotten over 3,000 applications. So if you want to be considered, you got to rush. So that's it for me and Upkey. I will not go back to Upkey. So Brian, let's talk about COVID-19. What are your thoughts about COVID-19?
I think our generation is going through something we have never seen before. And it's scary. And I think the unknown is always something that's scary, right? It doesn't mean that us as a world have not gone through a crisis before. We have, right, many times, but nothing like this. And so I think when there's anything that's unknown, such as COVID-19, which, I think we're far from coming out of, to be honest with you, unless we truly all stay sheltered in place, because there is no solution to fix that at the exact moment. However, I think there's always a silver lining. Okay, there's always a silver lining with everything, and there is always something good to come out of everything that is negative. And I'll explain to you why I feel that way, so that you can have some understanding, because I think it's important to, to understand why people think the way they do, and where the heart of it all stems from, because that's what drives everything, whether you're an individual, whether you're a company, whether you're a team. So I think the silver lining out of it all is the fact that we are all virtual right now. It is an even playing field for literally everybody around the world, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, whether you're a student or whether you're Gary Vee. It really doesn't matter, because the reality is we all have at our fingertips this incredible technology, like LinkedIn, right? And other forms of digital technology. We're using Zoom right now, right? There's so many great tools at your fingertips that you can use to be able to communicate with one another, right? And to be able to be present and to show up. And right now, more than ever, it's so important to be showing up, because there isn't a way to do that otherwise. You can't walk out of your dorm. You can't walk out of your apartment. You can't walk out of your home. You can't go have lunch with someone, or go have dinner with someone, or have a drink, right? Have a study group. It has to be all done online. And because of that, I think it's helping people think about technology in a way that you didn't before. It's like, oh yeah, you want to do a video chat? Okay, sure, we can do that. But how about we go meet up at the coffee shop down the street? Sure. Well, you can't do that now, right? But you can have virtual coffee, right? You can do virtual study groups. I was on last night, a virtual anniversary celebration. My friends celebrated their 20-year wedding anniversary, and we all got together on Zoom and we toasted together, right? So it gets you thinking about technology and the things that you would normally do physically, right, in a different way. And in a platform like LinkedIn, right, now more than ever, it's certainly a place that's so important for you to be showing up. And as a student, it's so important for you to be showing up. I have a daughter who's a freshman in college. I have a son who's a junior in high school. And I went to college, graduated from San Diego State University quite a long time ago. And, it's one of those things where, if you're not showing up, you're not being seen and heard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And so as a student who's either looking for an internship, or if you're a student that's looking to find a job, or you're juggling, right? You hold a job and you're a student, right? We're all students, right? Always students of life. We're always learning, and there's so much to learn right now, right? It's a time to learn. It's a time to test. And it's a time to take advantage of virtual communication, and keep it top of mind, right? Like, reach out to a friend and have a video chat with them, whether it's through Skype or Zoom or FaceTime, or there's so many technologies that you can use, right? To be able to communicate. But then the other side is it's not just that two-way like conversation that you would have like we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But realize that there's power in things like video, where it's you and your voice and your message, right? And you're able to communicate and reach people, and showing up and doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing up is extremely important. And one of the things that I was talking about with a colleague of mine the other day is, what are the barriers to even showing up these days? Like the barrier, it's so low right now that there is no reason for anyone to not show up. The only thing you need is, the intention. Like you need to have that intent. You need to go there with a purpose. And the resources are out there. They're free. They're available for you to try, test, learn, and grow. And when you think about the new wave of, communications in terms of how companies will start communicating with students and employees, people think that we're going to go back to the old normal. And I think that's just an absolutely wrong way to think about it. There is not that we are going to go into a society where people are going to start seeing the value of virtual communication, of doing things virtually. It's just much more efficient, right? And the more we can start adopting all those practices, all those, those resources, the technology, and putting them in place structurally, then we're going to realize that we're going to a more efficient world and much efficient society. Now, as a student, that could look like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because I'm not in the workforce yet. But the things that a student will interact with right now will be things like virtual interviewing and, virtual social networking. Now you have virtual career fairs. So things are going to change, and some of those things are going to be permanent. I was talking to a couple of colleagues that I work with from other universities, and they were saying if their virtual interviews go the way they're thinking, then they may actually just adapt it permanently. And the companies that were not able to travel to the Midwest for for career fairs, now they have that opportunity through that environment to just have it as something that they can engage with the students. So how do you think that is going to change the ecosystem of how students, look at their career transition?
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a couple things you said that I think are really interesting, right? One, what we used to look at as normal will never be the same again. It's going to be a brand new normal, and we are going to adapt to a brand new normal, right? Technology is going to be much more prevalent and proficient. I've been on the internet since it was green screen and chat rooms, sitting on my mom's lap learning how to type. Like it's amazing how far we've come in what I would say such a short period of time, and how technology has evolved, right? But here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a student, and there are millions of students on LinkedIn. There's a hashtag called Students of LinkedIn, and I can tell you that there are many that I have that are friends that are now in the workforce, but they were students when they joined LinkedIn. They had massive followings, and the reason is because it's all about relatability, right? This is the most important thing. You don't have to show up on LinkedIn and do, I will say though, LinkedIn Video, when they launched it initially, their thought was it would be this kind of video interview type thing. It's become so much more than that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But showing up and being human with a heartbeat, right? Human first, heart first is the most important thing you can always do. I do think that virtual interviews will be something that will be more prevalent because look, here's the thing, right? When we come out of this thing, and I think we are months out. But even when we come out of that, right, we have to now then adapt to a new normal of physical communication. We have to get used to being around each other again. And we have to get used to how we're going to do that. And digital technology is something that is, I think, going to be even more prevalent because of that, right? Especially now, but even looking ahead. So yes, it's something that I think will be used much more when it comes to virtual interviews, virtual career fairs. I mean, even my son was doing a virtual tour online of a school where he was supposed to go and travel with my wife, but now he couldn't, right? So adaption, right? And those that are adapting right now and that are testing and trying different things are the ones that are going to be ahead of the game, so to speak, right? Because I think there's a lot of folks, there's a lot of students for sure. I'm sure you're sitting there going, this is crazy. I mean, and in some point it's, you already were maybe taking classes online, or it was a portion of it. Maybe you did labs online or whatever, right? My daughter is still flowing like she would usually. However, it's just a bit different. She's not going to class for things that she normally would. She's doing those parts online, but she's still, used to that, and it's a part of her flow. So I think for students, even more so than others, you're kind of used to that already. It's the world that you're living in. But yeah, communicating digitally through video is something that is going to become much more common. It is now, right? Certainly much more now. And I think it'll continue to be for sure.
Absolutely. Just to get a vibe of the folks in the audience, by Raising your hands, how many of you actually go to LinkedIn, let's say 3 times a week? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a
7.
good
Yeah.
7.
I'm
That's
half
nice.
the group.
Half
Yeah.
the grip. That's pretty impressive. 8. So I'm adding right now. How many of you post on LinkedIn at least once or twice a week?
Well, how many of you understand that you can create content on LinkedIn? Let's actually ask
Let's,
that one first.
okay, let's do that. 1, 2. Okay. Okay. So
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because here's the thing, right? There's this predisposition that most people think of LinkedIn and think it's a digital resume and a place to look for a job. And it is, but that's how it started 17 years ago. I've been on LinkedIn every day for the last 16 and a half years. And I've been creating content ever since you could. And the thing is, most people don't know that it's an engagement platform now. It's a place where you can show up. It's like going to Facebook or going to Instagram or TikTok even and others, right? It's engaging, right, in different ways. And each has their own predisposition, right? You go to Facebook for friends and family and fellow students, right? You go to TikTok. Typically, it's a younger generation, but that's shifted a lot. Instagram is, hey, check me out. I've got an amazing life, whether I do or not. Right? It's like every platform has their own kind of vibe to it. And LinkedIn, business social networking platform, but most people think you have to show up and talk about business because it's a business social networking platform, or you have to just hit the connect button, connect to people. And there's so much more to it, because it is about human first,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Hmm.
And it's such an important part, you guys, especially since video launched, because if you show up as a student, you're probably sitting there going, what value would I have to offer showing up on LinkedIn? I'm just a student. We're all students. Okay. You don't have to have a role at a company, a job. It's, remember, human first. And this is the part where most people are confused in the beginning, because they're like, well, okay, but then what do I talk about? If I'm a student, what do I talk about? Or if I'm transitioning in jobs, what do I talk about? Uh, don't ever discount your knowledge and your voice and your story, okay? Because it's all about relatability. Think about it. There are millions of students on LinkedIn. Well, all you have to do is show up and share, right? Share the stories, share the experiences that you're going through and growing through and things that you're learning. And right, I mean, university is not just about what you're learning in class, right? School in general is not just about what you learn when your butt's in the seat. It's the experience that you have together as human beings. And I do
Absolutely.
I do have a degree in psychology, so I'm not going to get all psychobabble on you, but just think about that, right? It's all that interaction, the people you meet, the connections you make, the relationships you build. That's what fosters everything. It's all about the people.
Yeah, absolutely. And because we're talking about LinkedIn and because it's such an accessible platform, what I want to do is I want to actually get off my screen share and let's go to LinkedIn and talk about the key elements. Because if you're a student, you ask yourself, okay, what should I start doing? Like, what should I take care of? X, Y, and Z, and all those questions that I get all the time. So I think we are going to just go on the platform while talking about the platform to see, some of the key things that, number one, if you ask yourself this question, I've never gone to LinkedIn before, and I think that I don't have any value to present. How should you even start? Right? What are
Yeah.
the things that you should start doing? But also, I want to give everyone the chance. If you want to ask a question, this is something that we generally don't do on webinars. I'm going to allow you to talk so you can have the opportunity to talk versus write your question. I think that's going to make the whole show a little bit more interactive. Now, who has the first question? And I'm going to give them the permission. Raise your hand.
And it's okay if there aren't any just yet. If you have them
Uh,
as we kind of start talking through things, definitely feel free to chime in. Let's do this. Let's take you through a flow. So you can even just pull up my profile if you want, buddy. Um, because I think I want to walk you through some things that I think are important, right? It's like, okay, great. I've signed up for LinkedIn. I have a free account, right? Which, by the way, just on a sidebar, right? A lot of technology companies right now specifically, are providing students with the ability to be able to get access to technology for free that otherwise may have to pay for, like Zoom and others. You can actually even search on the web and find just what technologies are free for students today, right, during COVID. So let's dig into this. All right. So, okay, great. I just signed up. Now what? Okay. Well, you have what's called a profile, or what many of us today call a channel. And that's what you see on the screen. This happens to be mine. Now, there's a couple of things I want to point out for you. One is the very first thing you see when you go to anybody's profile on LinkedIn is you see what we're looking at right now, whether it's on your mobile, whether it's on your laptop. You see that. And in my case, I have an image as my hero banner, which is what you see on top there in the back screen of my picture, right? You can use that in many different ways. Okay, think about what inspires you. You can use it, like, for example, these are just a bunch of pictures of people that I've had video chats with, and you'll see me and them at the same time. Now, I'm all about community. I'm all about the people. It's what I am known for. Forbes called me the king of community, I think is what they said. And I think the thing is, always remember, every digital platform is about the people first. So use that by default, by the way, looks like kind of like constellation stars and a light blue backdrop. Customize it. Take advantage of all the opportunities you have to customize things for you. So you literally just click on it and you click edit, and you can upload, you can do searches. There's a great tool called Canva. So write that down, and I'll write this down in here too, so you guys can have it. Canva.
And we have a questions from Shanae.
Oh yeah, here we go.
From caller.
I got it. Would you recommend paying the additional fee to upgrade your account? If so, what are the additional benefits? Great question. So I actually always do recommend that you get the lowest rung of the paid membership. Now, here's why. There's really one main reason, and this is because the way LinkedIn does this. If you do not have the lowest paid membership, you are only able to see like 3 to 4 revolving people that view your profile. When I say revolving, I mean like that when new one comes in, the other one goes out. And unless you're literally looking at LinkedIn every second of the day, like I am, you're going to miss it. With the paid membership, you can look at the last 90 days of people that view your profile. Now, why is that important? The reason it's important is because when it comes to networking, strategic networking, you want to know who views your profile. We're going to talk about this. It's something I call knocking on LinkedIn. So I'm going to put a pin on that. I'm going to come back to it in a second. So let's go back to the profile. So that is why, by the way, just to answer your question, Shana, that is why you would want to have the lowest paid membership. You don't need it, but it is important because when we talk about strategic networking and building relationships and a flow and a process, you want to see the who, because you'll be keeping track of that as we talk about it. So hero banner, customize that. It can be an action statement. It could be a word. It could be a picture. It could be anything. But Canva is a great tool to create these. They have tons of great templates. You literally can pick something if it vibes with you and throw it up there. You can put anything there, but it can be an action statement. It could be, hey, let's hop on a chat together. Schedule time with me here. So that's a way to be able to do that. Yeah, here's a great example, right, of how you can take advantage of that as well. So you can use it in different ways. So there's your hero banner. You'll see there's a picture, right? You want to have a picture of you, just you. Don't cut it out of a picture of you and your friends or a wedding or whatever, right? You think you look good in that picture. And LinkedIn makes it really easy. You just click on it. They give you a bunch of filters. It's actually really great. Just make sure that there's not a lot of stuff behind you, right? You want to make sure you see yourself and it's clear. You can do that really easily, like I said. So picture, your name should just be your name. Like just characters, no emojis, no words after it. LinkedIn does not like that. It also makes it hard for you to be searched for on LinkedIn, and you want to make yourself easily searchable and easily taggable. So just your name. Then right below that, you'll see there's a headline. That headline can be a couple different things. Okay, so your header is, it can be an action statement. I help people X, or I do this, I do that. Or it can be, right, there you go. I champion diversity, inclusion in branding and marketing. That's an action statement, right? Mine, you see our action, you know, it's more descriptor in terms of, these are all the things that I'm a part of. I'm on boards. I'm an advisor. I do speaking, LinkedIn. I'm a LinkedIn local host. I have a LinkedIn live show, a couple of them, you know, et cetera, right? So it gives you a well-roundedness. Now, these things, your name, your picture, and your header are what are seen every time you take any action on LinkedIn. If you're commenting, if you read an article, if you post a video, again, any action that you take on the platform, those are the three things that are always seen. And I want you to know this too. You can change it anytime. You can customize it anytime. You can change it anytime. You can test whatever you want. Don't feel like it's a resume. It's stagnant. I got to keep it. It's just the way it is and I can't change it. Okay? You can adapt. So those are three important things. Yep, here's some great examples, right? So you'll see there. When you hover over it, that's what it does. It shows you the name, shows you the picture, shows you the header. So that's why it's important. What do you want people to see, right? If you're a student, what do you want people to see? Don't use it like, don't say student at, you know, Morgan State University. That'd be like saying, you know, VP of marketing at X company. Like that's personally, I feel it's the worst way you can take advantage of that space to capitalize on it. So just think about what you like, what gets you excited, what you want to do, right? Future graduate, future MBA. You get what I'm saying, right? Like the descriptors of not only just where you are now, but what you want to do, what you want to be known for, okay? And then down below that, there's an about section. You can use the about section in many different ways, okay? I always recommend that you put keywords in there because that makes you searchable not only on LinkedIn, but also on Google and other search engines, all right? Use it as a story. Use it to tell a story. Every single one of you has a story, okay? That makes you who you are. Think about this as the first way for people to get to know you. It's that first, hi there, I'm Brian, right? Always in first person, never in third. And tell that story. Now, mine is a little bit different. Mine's kind of old. I haven't changed it in a while, but I have one of the top 1% viewed profiles on LinkedIn. It works. And so you can use it. Yeah. Another great example, right? How do you look and present talent? What are your tools, et cetera, right? And it's like, yeah, this is a great example of how you may use a descriptor of your company. But use it to tell a story about you. Okay, so you're a student. And again, if you're a student and a mom, or you're a student and you're younger, and whatever your story is, tell that story. Tell that story. You've got a lot of space to work with in there. Provide an action statement too, right? Because you're starting that conversation. When I say an action statement, what I mean is, let's hop on a video chat together, right? And provide them a link to do that. Now, I'm going to share another tool with you, which is called calendly.com. Free tool, paid tool. You can use it as free. You can create an event and you just sync up your calendar with that. So maybe it's your .edu calendar and it shows your availability. You basically just block out whatever you don't want, you know, whatever you're not available, and it will show whatever it is available. And using that is a great thing just in terms of if you ever want to have some time with somebody, because it's frictionless. What I mean by that is when you click on it, you literally just find a time that's good for you. It's scheduled. You get pinged with an update when you're good to go, and you can customize it. It's great. It really is great. So Under the About section, there is also something that you will see. See where it says featured? Now on LinkedIn, when you create or any type of content, that means if you share content from somebody else, perfect. So the featured section, what you can do is when you go to create any type of content, once you've posted it, there's 3 dots that are at the top. And once you click on that, it's set. Now this is a beta feature, but it says feature. And it has a little star next to it. And if you click on that, it will then show up under that featured section. This is prime real estate. Okay, it's prime real estate because it's one of the first things that, there it is right there. Yeah, it's one of the first things that you will see on your profile. So think about that. What do I want people to see under my About section? Maybe you just made a video and it tells people who you are and you want to feature that there, right? It's that first digital conversation. Great, you can share that there. And what will happen is you can have up to, well, you'll see the first 2, and then you can scroll over and it'll show more, or you can click on that, right? And it will break it out for more. But it's a great place for you to feature anything that you want people to know and or see about you. Yeah, and it's great. You can reorder them, which is awesome. So right below that, if we keep scrolling, then what you'll find is, perfect. Yep. Great. You'll see the activity box. The activity box is going to show you any activity that you have. And when you click see all, if you would please, what you will see, yep, top right, little blue top, see all.
You have a question, Brian?
Oh, yeah. What is the name of the the name of the feature that I was just talking about? Right. So under the About section, you'll see it says featured. So featured is that feature. And the way something shows up under featured is if you have created a post on LinkedIn, which we'll talk about in a second. If you've created a post on LinkedIn, you can feature any of those posts, but it has to be something you have shared or created on the platform. You can't feature somebody else's post on yours. So this is an example of a post. Right, and then you can then say, "Hey, I want to feature that post that I've created," and that's where you would click on the feature button. Now, again, not everybody has this, so if you don't see that where it would normally say "feature" at the top with a star, it's okay. It's not a problem. It's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. But the activity section, if you click on "See All" for me there in the top right of that box, what you'll see is there's now a tab at the top, and it says Brian's activity, and you'll see all activity, articles, posts, and documents. Let's talk about these real quick. So articles on LinkedIn, if you would click on that for me, articles are great for different reasons, okay? Articles, you can use them to tell a story. So as an example, right, because you may be sitting there going, well, I don't have any business to talk about, writing about articles. I never used articles for that purpose. I used articles, and I was invited to publish on LinkedIn through what they call Pulse many, many years ago, when you had to be invited. And I thought to myself, well, I don't want to use it for business. I want to use it to tell stories, but I don't know what I want to talk about. And if you scroll to the bottom of that, you'll see there's specifically just a handful of articles that I wrote. And each of them have a different purpose. The one at the very bottom that you see there was the very first article I wrote on LinkedIn, and it was about the wedding in Hawaii that my wife never knew was going to happen 21 years ago in July. And I was inspired by that because, again, I wanted to tell a good story. I didn't know what it was, and literally until it was July, and I'm like, that's it. I want to tell that story. So I wrote about that. I then used it in a couple other different ways. Like I had a few speaking engagements, and it wasn't about me. It was, I wanted to shine my light on those people. Something I want you to always remember when it comes to LinkedIn is shine your light bright on others, because it's all about the people. It's all about the community. We'll talk about some different ways you can create content, video or others on LinkedIn by shining the light on your fellow classmates, teachers, whoever, okay? There's one that I read about being a daddy as a superpower. There's one, if you keep scrolling, about me, my life story, which in brief, I was a pound-and-a-half miracle baby that wasn't supposed to live. I grew up with a neurological disorder called Tourette's syndrome, which are uncontrollable tics and twitches. I was definitely weird and different, and I didn't look at those things as a positive thing until I got on video on LinkedIn, and we'll talk about that too. But so here's some more, right? These are great examples of articles, right? So whether you write about something that's interesting to you, again, remember, what do you want to be known for? Okay. So if you're at school studying biochemistry and that's what you want to be known for, right? Write about biochem. Take an article that you read in some publication and share some highlights about that, right? Or share your thoughts specifically about whatever that article was and post the link in there to go with it. Articles can be really long, they can be really short, they can be whatever you want. But just know that you have the ability to create articles. Yeah, your headline, that's where you go to create your headline. And it'll tell you what the depth and the width should be and all that stuff. That's if you're writing an article, you would put an image, you would drop stuff in there. They make it really easy to figure it out. But articles are a great way for you to show up. There are one of a number of ways that you can create content. Posts, which is the next tab there. Posts are, if you go to LinkedIn, let's actually go to the main page real quick. Just click on the in on the top left. Very top. Yeah, not my profile. Go to the very top where you see the LinkedIn logo.
Oh.
Yep, right there. Perfect. Yep, there you go. So see where it says start a post right there in that rectangular box at the top? That's what's called a post. Now, posts are up to 1,300 characters. So you can write anything in there up to 1,300 characters. And in that, you'll also see there's a couple other things. So you can add hashtags. And at the right below that, you'll see there's a plus button, right? So in the plus button, it allows you to do a couple things. It expands out, and you'll see up below it says celebrate a teammate, right? So they allow you to give kudos. And I'm not 100% positive about this, but I do believe this was spawned off of a series I have called Shout Out Saturday, which is all about giving gratitude to people. That's when they started that celebration of someone, right? It's give kudos to someone, as they call it, through the platform. So it's a great way, again, shine your light bright on others. Now, next to that plus button, you'll see a camera, you'll see a video icon, and you'll see what looks like a piece of paper. The camera allows you to upload images, okay? So when you create a post, you can create a post with just text. You can do that with an image. You can do it with video. You can do it with what they call documents. But imagery, like, we're visual by nature, okay? So you could upload a picture of you, right, in front of, maybe you took a picture of you in front of one of the buildings on campus, or it's a picture of you sheltered in place, right, and how you're feeling. I've been a student for 3 years at Morgan State University, and I'm used to walking on campus each day and looking at all the beauty around me and talking to my classmates, and I haven't been able to do that for a month. It's been really hard, but you're sharing a story, right? That's relatable. Everyone is going through that right now. Again, remember, it's all about relatability, okay? So know that you can create a post. Know that you can tag people in that post. So if you click on start a post again, just hit the @ symbol if you would, and you'll see that names start to come up. Now, as you start to type a name of a person or a company or a university, right, if they're there, you will see it come up. And once you tag it, them or whoever, right, you'll see it'll become bolded. Now, why would you tag a person, or in this case, a university? Because they have their social listening ears on, right? So I'll wind up doing a post, right? And we'll take a picture at some point. We'll get everybody on video at the end of this, and we'll take a quick picture, and I'll do a post later, and I'll want to tag everyone, so I'll make sure I get everybody's names. And if you're not on LinkedIn yet, you want to make sure you create an account, sign up for the free account. But that would be an example of why I would tag you and Morgan State University and about this event today. right? Because I want to shine my light bright on you guys, right? We had a great time together today, and that'll bring other people that are part of my tribe, so to speak, followers, connections, will see that. And again, it's about that communication that we're all having together. So tagging is great because it allows you to let others know, hey, I want you to see this. I care about you. I'm shining my light on you, right? Whatever those things may be. Now, you can tag, right. So you can select, I would just by default always leave it on anyone. I wouldn't even worry about all this other stuff. You want anyone to be able to see that. So picture, just text, text with picture, video, which you'll see is the next icon next to the camera down there. And this is what's called LinkedIn Video. Now, LinkedIn Video launched in beta towards the end of the year of 2017. I want you to understand something. You need to be seen and you need to be, oh yeah, is there a question?
Yeah, there's a question by Felicia. So Felicia, is it appropriate to tag companies that you want to talk about this? I have an opinion about that too.
Yeah, is it appropriate to tag companies that you're interested in? Yes. Yes. I'll give you an example.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. I found an article about Walmart. I come from 21 plus years in digital marketing and e-commerce and web analytics and web optimization, that kind of stuff on the technology side. And I saw an article that Walmart wrote about and a big update to their app. And I shared that because I knew my tribe would appreciate it. And I tagged Walmart in it. Well, the person that was responsible for running that team that updated the app saw it and commented and said, hey, Brian, thanks for sharing the love. Would love to hear what you think about the latest updates. Okay. So it's a great way for you to, yeah, see, there you go. Jacob mentioned your company in an update, right? It'll let you know when that is happening. Now, strategically, this is why this is really important. Right now, we talked about knowing who views your profile. So part of what we'll discuss here, and I'm going to we could do it right now, is strategically, you're a student, you want an internship, or you're a student and a mom, you're getting ready to look for a job, and you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to get a degree in, I'll use biochem as an example again, right? In biochem, although I can't think of any biochem companies off the top of my head. There's a bunch of them in San Diego now that I think about it. But anyway, my point is, I want you to make a list of all of those companies, whether you go old school with a sheet of paper, you get a spreadsheet or what have you. I want you to do this as an exercise. I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to fold it in half. And then I want you to fold it in half again so you have 4 boxes. And on the top left is going to be a list of all the companies you'd love to go work with, okay? Based on what let's say, for example, what you're getting a degree in, okay? And then on the bottom left, I want you to write down all of the C-suite executives, CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, COO, right? Any of the C-suite executives, and then as high up the chain as possible, VPs, SVPs, go look for them on LinkedIn. Write them all down. Just those top people, write those all down. Write their URLs down. Just you can copy and paste them, okay? And then on the right, I want you to also think about this, because at some point this is going to happen for you if it hasn't already. I want you to think about if you could do absolutely anything, wake up tomorrow morning and love what you're doing, make money doing what you love. What would it be? I want to create the next, I want to colonize the moon. I want to create the next space shuttle. I want to be the next Facebook, whatever, right? Whatever it is. I want to find a cure for COVID, right? Like whatever it is, write that all down. World is your oyster. Forget experience altogether, just whatever that it is. And then down below that on the bottom right, I want you to write down, if anyone could mentor me to teach me how to do this thing, I would so love to be able to do. Forget who, Gary V, forget. Doesn't matter. From the way out there, you never thought you could get their attention, to a professor, right? Anyone. Write them all down. It's not a simple exercise if you're being honest with yourself, but it's really important because that sheet will be what you use when we're talking about tagging, right? And we talk about connecting with people, because that is a big part of LinkedIn. You want to every day be building relationships, guys. Every single day. It's so important. Make it a part of your daily regimen. It's just like, I need to read this many pages for this class this week, right? I need to wake up and brush my teeth today. I need to breathe. Like, it needs to be one of those things that literally you do on a daily basis. And it's what I call knocking. Now, that sheet of paper is the start of your knocking. What is knocking? Knocking is this. When you were a kid, younger, right? You may have been involved in some group activities, sports, played music, whatever it may be, right? And at some point, you got to raise money. You got to raise money for the team, the sport, the group, whatever it is, even in college, right? And so you go around in the neighborhood, knock on the doors. Hey, we're raising money for this. Buy some wrapping paper, buy some toilet paper, buy some cookies, whatever, right? Depending on the time of the year. And if they open the door to the people, you're having a conversation. If they don't, you go to the next house. On LinkedIn, that's viewing profiles, right? Now, that sheet of paper, that's your strategic way of who you're going to go and start knocking. You're going to go start viewing profiles. Now, this is important of why you want that lowest rung paid membership, because you get to see the last 90 days of people to view your profile. So you take the step, you make the list, you start going on LinkedIn, strategically you start viewing profiles, and then you go to your profile to see who, and actually, why don't you bring up your profile real quick, and we can show them where they can see who has viewed your profile. So right there, see where it says your dashboard? That's something only you would see. On the very left, you'll see it says who viewed your profile. And when you click on that, it will show you. It'll give you a nice little graph. And then it also, see, this is a great example. You have a free membership.
Yeah,
I do too, actually. I've had all the paid memberships.
Oh, I've tried them so much, and I don't really need them anymore.
You don't. Again, you don't, right? Because there's so many ways you can show up without having to need that. The most valuable part is to see the last 90 days. And that's the process I'm taking you through. So it'll show you there who's viewed your profile. So you've taken the steps, and Paris was someone that you had viewed a profile of. And so now they've viewed back. They opened the peephole, they viewed back. Now what?
And also, just to add on that, just for a student to know, like, the companies or the places that the people that viewed your profile work in, it's a very important thing to do. So to your point, if someone wants to work for JP Morgan, and then you come and your activity, you tag JP Morgan, and you see that some like 5 people from JP Morgan view your profile, then you know that you have gotten on those people's radar.
That's right.
So that's a very good important thing too.
That's right. And in that case, like, you don't get me wrong, like, your strategic list of those high level people in the companies is really important. We'll talk about why, because they make decisions. They're the ones that decide if you are going to be hired, if you can get paid what you're asking for, all those things, right? It's always important to go as high up as possible, but you should also be connecting with anyone and everyone within that company too, because there's so much value in those relationships. Okay. So that being said, this kind of taking us full cycle, right? In create the sheet, start viewing, tagging companies, people within those companies. If they check you out, then you go and you do a soft intro of connections. So why don't you just pull up someone that you're not connected to right now?
Ooh, let's see who's in the audience. If I'm permitted, I'll go and look at, let's see, Renee Smith. I think I know that name for sure.
Just because I want to show you something, and this is really, really important. I'm giving you roots.
I'm connected with them.
Actually, you're not. They're a third connection.
Let's see.
Yeah, so stop. Okay, so look, I want you to see something. So see how it says, or next to Renisha's name, it says third. Okay, there's first, second, third. First is a first degree connection. That means you're connected with them. Okay, they're part of your tribe. Second degree means they're a second degree away from someone you know. Now, what'll happen is on their profile, it will say, and in fact, it doesn't here because they're a third degree. If it was a second degree, it will say, you are connected, you have so-and-so in common with this person.
Or I think that can also appear if I look at your profile. Let's do we have any? So
Well, it'll
three,
say how many mutual connections you have. Yes.
yes. So somewhat different.
And here's why that can be important, because that could be a helpful and a starter. But I'm going to share a tip with you. So if you click that more button, well, hold on. That's interesting that it says, yeah. So
One other, I just want to touch on one point before we move forward is, let's say you want to work for Morgan Stanley and you can actually see your connections at work at Morgan Stanley, and then that could be an easy soft intro for you.
or employees. So see how it says,
Employee.
see all 76,000 and change employees on LinkedIn. If you click on that, right? So here's the example. Morgan Stanley's on your list. Great. Go and search Morgan Stanley like we're doing now. Click on that, get to their page, click on the 76,000 people, and then you can actually search now. You can search by location. You can search by connections. You click on all filters. It'll allow you to dig deeper. But then you can start viewing those people's profiles. You want to pay attention to see who is viewing your profile afterwards. Now, here's why. It doesn't matter who instigates that. The next step is really important. So now you go to their profile. You click on that more button. A lot of times what you will see is you will see where it says connect, don't do it. Where it says connect, if you click on the connect, don't do it. If you click on the connect button, it will send a message that says, I'd like to add you to my network. How incredibly impersonal is that? That would be like me walking up to my friend here on the screen and going, just handing him a contract and saying, sign this contract. He'd be like, I'm sorry. Let's start over. I'm Emmanuel. What's your name? Oh, I'm Brian. Nice to meet you. You start a conversation, right? This is the digital conversation you're starting as if you were in person. Don't ever, 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 ever hit the connect button. It's especially if you don't know that person. And don't do it even if you do know that person. Don't even do it if you're standing next to that person. What I want you to do is I want you to go to the more button. So let's go back to your profile.
My profile?
Yeah, or that's fine. No, right there. Go ahead. Click more.
This is kind of odd.
Show your profile, Sin. No, actually, click connect, because on desktop, I remember it's different.
Yeah, it's going to give me an option to add a note.
It is. They didn't used to do this. It literally just did. You used to hit it, and then it would just send that invite. Now, once you hit connect on desktop, it's different on mobile. On mobile, if you just hit connect, it will just go through and send that message. So you have to do it a little bit differently, but send a message. So here's what I recommend. Hey there. Notice you stopped by my profile. Always great connecting with other experts and enthusiasts in their respective fields. Because if you're still a student, right, you may not have that kind of connect point. Now, here's another quick tip in that. If you want to customize that a little differently, go to their profile. Let's X out of that. Scroll down for me. A little bit more. We'll talk about the experience. Okay, stop. So you see this skills and endorsements section. Now you can create these. You can literally go and search for them and create them. And people can endorse you for this. Skills and endorsements is a little weird. People will just randomly endorse you for stuff and they don't even know you. That's not how you should use it, but it's a powerful thing to use. Written recommendations are much more powerful. We'll talk about that. But skills and endorsements, go and look at the skills and endorsements that people have on their profile and find two that you have in common. So as an example, let's just say it's digital marketing and e-commerce. Let's just say that's what it is, right? So that message, hey there, notice you stopped on my profile. Always great connecting with other digital marketing and e-commerce experts and enthusiasts out there. Hope all is well. That's your message. Now, there is psychology behind the messaging, and I want to explain why. Hey there, notice you stopped on my profile. It's kind of, it's personal, it's loose, right? It's human. You've called them an expert and enthusiast in either of those examples, right? And you wish them the best. 1% of people send personalized invites to begin with. I have thousands of invites in my inbox at any given time. Most of them, there are no messages at all. you're immediately setting yourself apart from the masses. That's really important. That message will get accepted 98% of the time. The only reason it wouldn't is because if somebody's not really that active, or they're so active that they miss it. But with a message like that, they're not going to miss it. And I say that from experience because I've been doing this for years. So it works really well. Remember that it's based on you've both viewed each other's profiles. That's a really important part. That's why I tell you to take the action steps every day of knocking, viewing profiles, seeing who views yours. Then you send this kind of a message because it's a soft intro. It's not an out of the blue, who is this person? It's a, hey there, I noticed you stopped on my profile, right? Oh my goodness, we only have 5 minutes left. I thought we had 2 hours. Oh my God. Okay, I need to fast forward here. So let's talk about video because this is really important. Showing up. There are 675 million people on LinkedIn, from the founder to the funder to the student to the chairman to the janitor and everybody in between. Okay. That's actually up 15 million in 3 months from November. It's growing exponentially. Okay. Of that, there's 250 million active users. That doesn't mean they're engaging. It doesn't mean they're creating. It just means they're kind of lurking. Okay. 1% is creating content. It's an incredible opportunity to show up. How do you show up? I'm going to give you 5 tips to becoming one of the world's top LinkedIn video creators. Okay. Tip number 1. And if you go back, by the way, my friend, go back to your, the LinkedIn button. Top left. Yep. You got it.
You have a question?
Do you help users shape LinkedIn profiles? Yeah, I do. I help teach you like how to create the experience section, all that kind of stuff too, because it's an important part. It's the root of everything. Remember, every action step you take brings people back to your profile. That's why it's important. And remember, your profile is your story. I would be happy to find more time if we want to do that. Unless people have more time. I don't remember structurally how this works. I scheduled extra time. So if we want to keep going, I'm happy to do that. But I want to be mindful.
I think the folks here have classes and stuff.
All good. So if you go back to the start of post real quick, go back up, click in that box, click the little video icon, second one next. Yep. This is where you can upload a video. I want you to understand something. All you need is you, your smile, your voice, your laugh, your phone. That's it. You need nothing else. Okay? So tip number 1 is show up and be human. It sounds simple. It's not as easy as it sounds. The action step of doing it helps you get comfortable being uncomfortable. One of the tips I always recommend is every single day, Kara says she's done with classes for the day. Not sure about other guests. Type in the comments and let us know if you have class or don't have class. Again, I'm available. But regardless, pull out your phone and every day just flip it into selfie mode. Smile first. Imagine me in your head going, wait, smile, hit record, and just talk to yourself. Whatever you're feeling, especially right now, whatever you're feeling. Don't worry about how long. Just spew until you're done. It will get you into the habit of pulling out your phone, smiling, selfie mode, record, and talking. It'll help you get comfortable being comfortable in doing that, okay? Show up and be human. Tip 2, engage and support. I said it earlier, every digital platform is this way, okay? Every company creates a digital platform that are social media, right? LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it is. It's all about the people, right? So they build the digital playground. We decide to show up and play. So engage and support, build community, shine your light bright on others. We have questions. Career service staff. What are your thoughts?
That's for me. That's for me. I want to make sure that if there's anyone in career services staff, I just want to make sure like we are mindful to.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing we could do is this recording going to be available to everybody?
Yes, it is going to be available to
are you still available?
Yes, I'm available. I have a 1 o'clock, but that's a while from now.
Okay, perfect. Then you and I can keep going and then everyone will have access to this if they want.
Yes.
Again, either way, we can do that. Okay,
Yes.
so tip 2, engage and support, build community, shine light bright on others. Before I go forward, actually, for those of you that do have to leave, do you have any questions just on everything we've kind of, I know I've jammed a lot down your throats, but do you have any questions about what we've talked about so far? If you have to go, I'd love to make sure we answer your questions. If you do, just drop them in the comments here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
And I'll keep going until I see a comment there. So
Okay.
that's tip 2. Tip 3 is create. You have a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively impact, affect, and inspire another human being's life by showing up, by being you. Human first, heart first. There's no greater gift to give. There's no greater gift to receive. Show up on video. Share your stories, guys. It's all about relatability, okay? Talk about, that's the other thing is people's like, well, what do I talk about then? Okay, I get it. I have to show up.
Another thing, like, I'm sorry to cut you. One of the things that, I've seen that works a lot is when people are vulnerable and they share their experiences. Most often we think that, hey, I don't want to talk about my past. Like an example for me, I'm from Cameroon. I fled a civil crisis, X, Y, and Z. And not just on LinkedIn, if I even take it to in-person networking, that is something that just gives the other person the sense of who I am, my personality, and my background. It builds trust, it builds rapport, and immediately they're able to receive me more than they would have if I didn't share that story. So you don't have to think about you have to be a subject matter expert if you are a biology major, right? You just have to think about how can I, share my experiences? How can I be human first, as you said.
Absolutely. And you were going to where I was leading, which is perfect because we're on the same wavelength. So talk about what you're interested in, talk about what you're excited about, what you're passionate about. And in the time that we are in of this crisis, talk about what you're scared about. We are humans. We are all literally all going through the same thing. We are all feeling, we are all, no matter who you are, living out of our hearts right now. Okay? So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's important because that's how you connect with people from your hearts. Okay?
Question.
Yes. What do we got? How important are recommendations on LinkedIn? Do you really need to complete your profile 100%? Really good question.
Yep.
Yes. LinkedIn gives you the ability, like it will show you in phases. If you go scroll back up. That's fine. Go to recommendations. So I I have 172 meaty written recommendations from people. Let me actually share some tips with you real quick about this. Yes, recommendations are really important. Why are they really important? Okay, if you go for a job and you give someone your resume and you go through a process, what's the last thing they ask you for? Please provide us 3 people to talk to on your behalf. Recommendations. They want recommendations from people. And usually you're going to give people that would sing your praise. This is social proof. No matter where you are in life, in business, this is social proof. Now, how do you get these? This is important. Everyone is busy, guys, right? Let me ask you a question, okay? Well, it's more a rhetorical question. Letters of recommendation from you're getting ready to graduate or getting ready to go for an internship. You're going to go to your professors for letters of recommendation on your behalf, right? Or if you're in the Greek system, you're going to go to whoever runs that or what have you, right? Or groups, right? You're going to get letters of recommendations from those people because they have clout, they have, weight about you. You want to share that, right? So how do you get them? Well, you can write recommendations for people. You can request recommendations from people on LinkedIn. Now, here's my recommendation of how to do that. Everyone is busy. Don't just reach out to ask. I'll answer this question in a second. I see from Felicia. Don't just reach out to someone and say, I'd like to have you, because there'll be a little blurb in there. Please write me a recommendation. Customize that. Hey, Emmanuel, I hope you're doing great. I will actually reach out. I'm doing it right now. Emmanuel, I would love to have you write me a recommendation when we're done. for this
Absolutely.
event. And I'm going to create an experience section, which we'll go back to in a second, but an experience section on my profile that says, you know, guest speaker at Morgan State University. And I will, in that, when I go to ask for a recommendation, it'll say, well, where do you want to apply it to? Right. So right there, it'll say relationship, position at the time, right? The more important part then is like where it's the company per se. Well, I would have Morgan State University there. And so he would select that. But what I would do is I would say, it would mean so much to me coming from you to have a written recommendation. I thought you might have a few nice things to share. I know how busy you are. I'll do this sometimes. I'll say, you know, I know how busy you are, so I've kind of framed something for you, just thinking maybe this might be, because the people you're reaching out to ask for a recommendation, you've got a relationship with them. Either it's your professor, it's someone you've worked with. You have a relationship, and you have an idea of kind of what they may say or what you'd like them to say, right? But give them a frame, give them some nuggets to work with, because the reality is, if you reach out to me to write you a recommendation, I have to stop. I have to think. And I want to put my heart into that for you because it's important to me. Imagine that for everyone you reach out to that you're asking a recommendation for. Make it as simple as possible for them to do what you want them to do. So if you write something or frame something or give them a little start or what have you, right? And then I always say is, hey, you know, put a little something together. If it works for you, great. You can use that. If not, feel free to scrap it and share whatever you'd like. But again, coming from you, it means so much. Thank you so much. And I'm more than happy to reciprocate, right? That's your message in a nutshell. If you don't ask, you don't get. So like we wrote that piece of paper out or a spreadsheet of, you know what, do that too. Keep a list of people that you would love to get a recommendation from. And always remember, the best time to reach out to anyone and ask them for a recommendation is when you've had an experience with them that's very positive, like in that moment. Like, so maybe it's Felicia, right, that we're looking at here. And Felicia's like, wow, Brian, thank you so much. That was so helpful. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Felicia, thank you so much. That means more to me than you know. I would be honored to have a written recommendation from you, right? That's your trigger. That's your trigger, right? You're getting ready to graduate and your professor, you've had a great experience together and they really appreciate all your hard work that you put in and just, you know, they told you that. Wow, thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel. That means so much to me. I would love to have a written recommendation from you on my LinkedIn profile, right?
Yeah,
Those are your triggers.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Question.
segue to Felicia's question. I put up a profile
I
and
don't
let's see.
necessarily have a question about what we've covered, but I would like to know how to make my profile stand out and attract recruiters in my field. Yeah, absolutely. So here's a great example, right? See that header? That's the default. Customize it. Even if you just go find a picture that you love, it speaks to you, right? Or a quote. This is a good point. Okay, wait. So go find something that you like and put it in there as your hero banner. Okay. Let me get through these last couple tips because this is important. The creating. The other thing that's important is remember 60 seconds or less is your best friend with video. You can say a lot in 60 seconds, guys. Trust me, I know. I've made almost 600 videos in 2 years on LinkedIn. You can say a lot. Again, all you need is your phone, okay? Just go to the video and you can simply just do it there. You can do it directly in LinkedIn. On your phone, if you click on the video icon, it'll pull up a window. You can literally just make the video from there. There's lots of great...
On the video point, I think this is another resource that Morgan State uses that I think the students could use. You know, it's always nice to have a link to something. I always, if I can have that, then I always think it's because aesthetics is very important when it comes to social networking. Aesthetics is important. So yes. For the students that are on right now, you can definitely just go to Gina, create a pitch video, and then just have that almost like your profile pitch page where you are able to go and create a pitch and just have that link on there for people that want to network with you. And just as Brian has on his profile, you can just put that link there. You don't have to worry about is the video live or it's not live. If someone just goes there, click, they see this beautiful page. It has your 1 minute pitch, and you can change it as you want. And to Brian's point, it definitely makes you stand out.
Yeah, for sure. I just put a couple things into, so I want to make sure you all have them for those of you that are here in the chat window. Three things that I'm giving you guys. One is a free 15 lesson LinkedIn Jumpstart Master Course that I created with a friend of mine. It's got tons of great nuggets on this stuff, more stuff that we haven't talked about yet too. Check it out at your own leisure. Again, it's completely free. You can go at your own flow of whatever works for you.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, no, for sure. The other is if you do want to chat one-on-one specifically, you'll find my Calendly link right there. We can jump on a 15-minute chat and talk specifically about you and how you can create some of these things. And then the other one is, which is coming up, which is why I'm sharing it. There is a free 3-day leap into live streaming boot camp. Because look, video is two ways. Video is native, where you create it, and then it's made, and then you upload it. Live is different, and you can go live on many platforms. LinkedIn Live you have to apply for. We won't get into that right now. But there's over 40 speakers across multiple platforms. My session is on LinkedIn Live and how you can use video and live video on LinkedIn to amplify your reach and grow your business. It's on April 30th. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific. You can get your free seat right there. So please feel free to do that. I highly recommend that you attend because you're going to gain so much knowledge in general, any of the sessions. But with LinkedIn specifically, I think you will really appreciate all the nuggets that are in there. So I wanted to just share that now so I didn't forget.
That's good stuff.
So show up and be human, engage in support, build community, and shine your light bright on others. I will share these tips here in the comments too. And create, right? Which we talked about, which is really important. You always want to be creating in different ways. The other thing with creating is I want you all to know too, that you all have your own vibes. Okay. You're a mom. You're a natural leader by nature because you have the hardest job in the world and you don't get paid for it, and you have it for the rest of your life. You love to exercise, right? Maybe you like to rock climb. You love reading. You're a musician. You get where I'm going, right? I want you to think about 5. 5 is your number. Think about 5 vibes, 5 things that you love. And those are going to be your lanes of content on LinkedIn. You love to sing. Believe it or not, like I have sang and danced and done all sorts of fun stuff with people on this platform. Why would you do that on a business social networking platform? People first, human first, coming together, build community, right? Next Wednesday, I'm going to give you guys a challenge. Next Wednesday is International Dance Day, April 29th. And for the last couple of years on LinkedIn, I have been bringing together LinkedIn creators, as we call them, right? Those that create videos, LinkedIn creators together and producing a music video. We pick a song and then everybody sends me their videos and I produce these. It usually takes me about a week to put it together. It's crazy, but so much fun and they're awesome. We did Justin Timberlake one year, and last year we did the Jonas Brothers. Sucker, I think, was the song we chose. This year, we're going to do the very first ever International Dance Day live on LinkedIn. It's at 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern on my LinkedIn channel. If you would like to come on my show live and dance with me and a bunch of other people, I am inviting you to come and do that. And actually, if you go to the See All section real quick, because I want you to share a link. Yep, See All, and then go to posts. And then scroll down, keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. Yep, keep going. It's close, keep going. Almost there, keep going. A little bit more.
That's funny.
You'll see I create a lot of content. Okay, slow down. It should be right below, a little bit more. No, it's below that.
This is it.
That one right there. Yeah. See in the top right, the 3 dots, click copy link. Great. Now put that in the chat. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to that link and I want you to say, I'm in, and just tag me @Brian, I'm in, and watch the video. You'll love it. @tag me, say I'm in, and then I will tag you in a thread on the comments and let you know. Great. I'll make sure you have the link to join
Brian,
us.
I think we have another question before we go to that. Let's talk about Felicia's profile and the pointers that we can give her, and maybe I think you should definitely go get on a call with you too for very specific pointers. But I think there'll be other students that would watch the recording, so I think it's important if we can give general pointers so that
you got it. So customize your headline, your banner, like we talked about. You just click on it, you edit, like Emmanuel showed earlier. Doctoral student in community college leadership, ed at Maureen. What I would recommend is doctoral student leadership, and then think about other words that you want to be known for. Okay. Again, descriptors.
And also, is there anything specific you're looking for? If you have any ask to someone that visits your profile, I always recommend having an ask, right? Because like a good salesman, you need to have an ask. It doesn't have to be a hard ask, and it doesn't have to be something that you need ASAP, but it should just be, I want opportunities for, research publication events to come talk about what I do, whatever it is.
And by the way, like that's something that you can put in your about section as an action statement, right? Whether it's at the top or at the bottom. And let's look at that. Collaborate with students, parents, administration, maintain student academic and enrollment, encourage scholars, interested in, that's all great. And you've got great keywords in there too. I would just recommend that you add an action statement. The other thing I would recommend is share part of your story. What makes you who you are? Like, get personal a little bit. You don't have to share your whole life, okay? But I share my story all the time, okay? I was a pound-and-a-half miracle baby, wasn't supposed to live, grew up with a lot of adversity, bullying, a neurological disorder. It took me a long time to get comfortable in my own skin and realize who I was, all of that. Why do I share that? Not for me. I share that because I want everyone else to understand that you have a voice in a story. I didn't think I had a voice. I didn't know I had a voice. I certainly didn't think I had a story that was worth talking about. And it wasn't anything I ever did talk about or wanted to, because I didn't want to be different and weird. You don't have to go through what I went through. Just understand it's important to share your story, because that's how people relate to you.
And let's see the activity. So generally,
so there's being active in engagement. And then there's posts. Go on, click on posts.
Let's see that.
Okay, so see, Felicia is, so here's what Felicia's doing. Felicia is sharing other people's posts. Scroll a little bit more. Okay, so you're just literally sharing the posts. So here's a tip. When you share a post, say something with it. Even if it's just a quick strip line, right? Like the first one, Felicia just shared, let's go back real quick. Okay, so Renata, you shared something that Renata had posted. There's a reason why you did that. Share that. I love this post from Renata. It could even just be that. Truly love this post. Thanks so much for sharing this, Renata. Tag Renata. Right? There's a simple way. You want to let her know you appreciate that. So that's a way you can do that, right? But how it made you feel, or what you thought about it. Just a quick blip. The first 3 lines, by the way, is what you will see before you have to click the more button in any post that you're sharing, that you're creating. Let's go back to Felicia's.
Let me show them what the more button looks like.
Yeah, right there. See where it says see more? So those first very 3 lines, that's your attention grabber.
Yeah. And I always try to make sure that the first 3 lines want to make someone to click the see more. So I always have like a hook almost when I want to have my when I'm trying to create a post.
You got it.
Let's go back to Renata's.
You got it. All right. So okay. So Felicia. So let's go back to Felicia's profile. Yep. Okay, so scroll a little bit. So we talked about the about section. So experience. There's a reason it says experience, guys. It doesn't say resume. It's an experience. Example, I'm going to create an experience from today as speaker, Morgan State University. It's not a job. It's an experience. If you go and look at my profile, you will see many experiences, many places I have spoken and those kind of things, in addition to roles, if you will, that I have. So remember, it says experience for a reason. If you are an intern at something, someplace, take advantage of that space and take advantage of the, I would actually recommend that you add some visual elements to each of these. What I mean by that is pictures. Add some pictures. So adjunct instructor of English, great. Have you taken pictures with your students, or take an image of the university, right? 2 is always great because just visually, yeah, so right, exactly. That's what it'll wind up looking like. All right, and it breaks it up. It just allows us as humans to visually just break things up versus chunk. Even if it's just an image of, in this case, like the
So
university, right?
while we're on trying to close out, Renata, so one of the things you just wrote in the chat is I have a Google page linked on my LinkedIn profile where I share my story. So one of the reasons why I rather have things have a more detailed LinkedIn profile is because most people look at LinkedIn on their phones, right? And if I look at LinkedIn on my phone, is this small, and I don't have enough real estate to really see all the details. So when that link and that story, which is I think the most important part of what you're trying to tell people, or you're trying to voice your vibe, when it creates too much work for someone to have access to, then it loses the person. And I
Yeah,
always want to, yeah,
yeah.
you
You
go
want to
ahead.
keep them there. You want to keep them on your. You want that. And LinkedIn wants you to stay there on the platform, and you want them to stay there. So your story. Here's how you can repurpose that, because you've already written it. So here's some nuggets. You've shared your story. I'm assuming you wrote something out. Take that story and turn it into a LinkedIn article. Literally copy and paste it, add some images maybe in there and something like that. Create an article.
Absolutely.
Step 1. Take that story and break it up into a 60-second bite LinkedIn video series to share your story with people. It's one of the very first things I recommend that people do, is to share their story about who they are, what makes them who you are, right? So you can create a LinkedIn video series, multiple videos, because again, 60 seconds or less, you want to break it up. Everyone is 60 seconds. People have to fall in love with you before they're going to listen to what you have to say. So you want to take those steps. When it comes to the video, if you're not editing it at all, smile first, because it's the very first second of the frame that people see when you upload that video. Okay. So you have your story. You've taken that and created an article. You've taken that story and created a multiple video series. Take that article and create what's called, I'm trying to think about maybe the best way to do this. If it's a story, yeah. So create, you know how I told you can create a post, 1,300 character limit? Share some of that story in parts, right? Take some of the things that you've said in your story in strip line and use them as quotes in a post. Take and create an image on Canva and put a picture of you with a strip line of something that you've shared and share that as an image. Remember, different ways to create content. Why would you do that? Because everybody consumes content differently. I may love video, but Emmanuel loves just text-based posts. You want to cater to your audience. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Okay. And it's easy to do because all you're doing is repurposing what you've already created.
It's very efficient.
So sharing your story, it's great. I'm so glad that you did that. But do it the way we're talking about, because this is how you start showing up. Someone said, can we add those things that we love and do well to our profile as another option for employment? So you can, Give me an example. You're welcome, Felicia. Give me an example, Kara, uh, so that I understand.
Singing.
Singing. I love it. Okay, so perfect. Singing, this is how I would take that. You know, we're talking about video, creating, perfect segue, because we're talking about creation. We haven't moved on to tip 4 yet. Sing. I am going to challenge, and I'm challenging you for the good. Kara, I want you to show up on LinkedIn video and sing. Now, I have friends who do this, and they were like, really? Why would I do that? I said, because it's relatable, because you have a gift. That's your gift. It comes from your heart. That is your voice. Voice your vibe. Go and sing, because you will draw people. And by the way, you're not alone. You're certainly by no stretch of the imagining the first. There are so many friends of mine that are creators on the platform that sing on a regular basis.
Corey sings all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So do that. Do that. 100%. That's how you would take that gift of yours and share it. I wouldn't put that under your profile. I would show up. Remember, what do you want to be known for, right? First, you have to draw people in. Once you've gotten their attention, then you can talk about other stuff too.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
I said, and also that's something that's so relatable, right? People love music is food to the soul. And if you want to sing, you don't have to be great at it, but it's something that I can connect to so easily. And that's something that it actually creates an engagement, because those are things that people want to talk about. Oh, that's such a beautiful song. I like that song. And immediately you start building a tribe. You start forming that
100%.
community, and you can use that for several things.
Yeah, like I'll give you a random example. So one of the videos, I have 2 LinkedIn Live shows. One is called What's Good Wednesday. The other one is called Shout Out Saturday. And Shout Out Saturday is all about, again, I have video chats with people every single day. I had over 1,000 of them last year. And I wanted to share the love. I wanted to give them gratitude, let them know how much I appreciate them. And that I truly do appreciate them and the time we had together. Well, on my live show, because of the pandemic we're going through, I started doing something in addition to that, where I not only would I invite guests randomly, like you can literally jump on my show, click on the link in the comments, and come on the show as a guest live. And I started what's called social disdancing. Not social distancing, social disdancing, where we literally get our groove on together for a couple minutes during the show. And it's fun. And you have a good time together. And it draws, you walk away happy. You
Absolutely.
feel better. Isn't that important right now? Relatability, bring people together, share the good, right? So it's a great way to, again, bring people together. So creating is so important. Kara said, I'm so green to LinkedIn. My page is very boring, so I will definitely need help building it. Yeah, not a problem. Like I said, listen to some of these tips that we're talking about kind of in going down in flow. Your hero banner, your name, your headline, your picture, your profile, your about section, right? Tell a story. The feature part, if you have it. If you don't, know that you can upload stuff right there too, and it will show up. So think about it as, what do I want people to see right when they come to my profile? The articles part, because that comes next if you want to write an article. The experience section, right, which we've talked about. And now we're talking about the action steps. One of the best things that you can do is start out by just engaging. When I say engaging, I mean commenting within posts from people. A lot of friends where that's where they start. They're like, I don't know, to start, whatever. Start there. It's a great way to start. The other thing I would recommend too, in terms of creating content, as we're just talking about this, something you can literally start doing right away is go on Google, Pinterest, Instagram, wherever, and find quotes that inspire you. This is another challenge I'm going to give you. I'm going to challenge you to create one piece of content every day for 7 days. I want you to do this just on a regular basis. This is not hard. It does not take a lot of time. Find a quote that you dig. Visual is always a good way to go. And I would do it at the beginning of your day. This is something I have been doing ever since you could create posts on LinkedIn. I do it every day, 365. I do it multiple times a day, but I'm saying just pick one. Pick one. Start of the day is good because it gets the day going. It like gives your tribe some good vibes, and it gives you good vibes too because you're subconsciously consuming them. It inspired you to find it, right, and to share it. So find a quote that you like, visual, just save it, share it. If you want to automate some of this, LinkedIn isn't a huge fan of automation, but this is okay. There's another tool, and I'm going to type it in here, called Buffer. There's many of them out there. I love Buffer. It's free. There's paid version too. You don't need it. There's a free version of it. And you can schedule those quotes. So let's say, and I do everything on my phone. So I find a bunch of quotes. I find 7 quotes that I dug for this week. Maybe I'll go look on Sunday night, right? For the week. I find 7 that I like. I will go and upload them into Buffer. I will put a little comment to go with it, a little strip line. And then I will schedule it to post at, let's say, 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's just pick that as the time. 7 o'clock every day, 7 days a week. And I will take each of those images that I saw that I loved, and I'll put a little something to go with it. And I will schedule that from Monday through Sunday. And then you don't have to do anything. It's just the work up front to find the quotes that you love. The other thing I say too is I share so many quotes. If you find anything I share that you like and you're inspired by it, take it and make it your own. But the quotes are great for 2 big reasons, guys. One, it's always good to give out good vibes to the universe, especially on LinkedIn. 2, you get to be known for giving out good vibes. People want to hire positive people. People want to work with positive people. Remember, show up the way you want to be known. I'm not telling you not to be you. Be you. Be genuine, be authentic, be you. Be positive. Positivity is a good thing, especially during a pandemic. So that's a challenge. That's a challenge for you to start creating content right away. Like that's a way for you to start.
And Brian, you know what? When I remember when I started a couple of years ago, I did not really know everything, but just by showing up, you start figuring it out too. You start looking at other people's profile. When you go and you start posting, you just intuitively start seeing what works. And the more you do it, the more you show up, the better you are. There's no two way about it. You show up, you put in the time, you put in some work and the energy, and the only result is you're going to be better at it.
That's right. You got to put in the work. It's just like school. It's just like a job. There's no back door. There's no silver bullet. There's no shortcut. You've got to do the work. Before I started my company, I didn't get paid to do what I do. I don't get paid to create the content that I do. I do it because I love it. I fell in love with it. And I love inspiring people because that's my why. My why is to inspire one person a day.
Awesome.
You need to find your why, guys. Find your why. Your why will drive everything. Okay, it's really important.
Do we have one final question? This has just been like super amazing. I've never gone like this deep into a webinar before, and I just feel like the time just flew by this fast.
It did. Let me just finish the tips because there are 2 more tips that we want to tack on. So again, your 5 quick tips, right, to becoming one of the world's top LinkedIn video creators. Guys, please remember this too. I had no idea what I was doing when I got started. You talk about being green. I was greener than green. I didn't even know there was apps that existed. So I had no idea what I was doing psychologically, emotionally, technologically, physically. I didn't know anything. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. Okay. Show up and be human, engage in support, build community, shine your light bright on others, create, like we talked about, 60 seconds or less. Also take that time every day to just put yourself on camera. You'll get comfortable being uncomfortable and taking that motion. It'll also help you later because whatever you're feeling at that time is what you want to share. Angry, sad, happy, mad. You'll go back when you don't think you can get through the next moment and watch that video and go, I got through that. I can get through this and I'll get through the next. And it'll also be inspirational content that you may at some point want to share and that'll inspire somebody else. Okay. Tip 4 is be consistent. Consistency is key to anything at success. Create a content strategy and a calendar, like on your phone or on your wall, right? You've got tests, you map it all out to create a level of consistency that works for you. And I say for you, because what works for me and works for my buddy here doesn't mean it's going to work for you. That's why I'm saying start. Use a quote. 7 days a week. Just start 7 o'clock. Consistent, consistent, consistent. Gets you in a groove of being consistent. Then maybe it's, hey, I'll make one video a week. It'll be every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. That's my jam. Great. Hold yourself accountable to that. Remember your vibes. Talk about sing. That's what's going to be. Every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, you're going to show up, and Kira, you're going to sing. That'll be it. Great. I know I sing every Wednesday. I post it every Wednesday at 6 to sing. And then I have my quotes during the week. That's it. Okay. Because when you show up consistently, your tribe knows when you're going to show up. The last tip is tip 5, which is collaborate. Incredible things happen when we come together. Look at what we're doing right now. Right? Come together. Remember that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Simon Sinek said that. And remember, in the digital world, literally all digital right now that we're in, you can't go and do the things you normally would do. Your smile is now your logo. Your personality is now your business card. And how you leave other people feeling here after that experience with you, that's your trademark. And remember this, Maya Angelou said it better than anybody. People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel. It's not about the words, guys. It's about how you show up from your heart. It's the heart of it all that matters. So I will share all these tips again here, in recap in the comments, because I'm sure you guys are taking notes furiously.
Yes. And while you're doing that, for the, just in the spirit of voicing our vibe, and for those that are still here, like, thank you so much. And I want to also make sure, like, you have the ability to, or the opportunity to voice your vibe. Generally, I ask people to add this in the chat, what they learn, what they think the most important takeaway is. But I actually want to allow you to talk. So if there is someone who wants to take the stage and voice your vibe and join us as a co-host and talk, just raise your hands and I'll allow you to talk. That if no pressure, but if you want to do it, the floor is all yours.
No stupid questions either, by the way. Just the ones you don't ask.
Craig, we have Felicia. Okay. All right, Felicia, I'm promoting you to a panelist. Let me know if you get the panelist. Let's see. Felicia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right.
Hi,
You are coming live, Felicia.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for this opportunity. I really learned a great deal about sprucing up my LinkedIn account to make it a bit more marketable. One great thing that I'm definitely taking away from this is how to just really change my image on this platform, and how that could really help to kind of attract those people that I would really like to connect to within my chosen profession. So this is really great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you so much. Any other person? I thought, Craig, did you raise your hands?
I want to say something too before we get somebody on here. And okay. This is more important now than ever. Just because somebody said I'm not camera ready in the comments. And I think it's probably because we talked about taking a quick picture. Mm-hmm. I want you to remember something. Like, I don't remember the last time my hair was this long. Everybody's at home growing a beard, right? Like, most people's homes are completely disheveled, or your dorm room or whatever, right? The whole world is turned upside down. The whole world, everyone is going through the same thing. That's relatable, right?
I had to shave my hair myself and it's a mess, but I love it.
Yeah, no, it's true, right? It's true. I mean, just I want you to remember that, right? It's all about relatability. So knowing that, just know that if you're worried, oh God, I can't get on video because I look like crazy, talk about that. Get on video and go, I haven't dyed my hair. I haven't gone to get my hair did in over a month because I can't go to my stylist, or I haven't been able to, get a mani and a pedi because I can't, they're closed, right? So you know, and relatable. Everybody can relate to that. That's a great way for you to talk about stuff too, right? Is it's like, you know, everyone's going to be going, oh my gosh, yes. And they'll be engaging in the comments and use that. That's something else too. When you do post, provide a call to action. Ask a question, only one. Don't confuse people. Like one question, like, and it's maybe it's that. It's like, I haven't been able to do my hair. Are you experiencing that too?
One question. So for the folks that say they're not camera ready, you don't have to be on camera, but you can just talk. So I can just give you the audio permission.
For sure.
Yes, so you can just talk. There's a question. Did you post the tips? They can see it.
Yes,
Brian.
I did. There, if you scroll up above, it does say to all panelists. So you've got to just, I don't know, click on the chat window. If you click on the little chat thing, you should see.
I think you have to go to all panelists and attendees.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so just copy and paste.
Yeah, I need to copy and paste literally everything then, because I've been doing it to all to all panelists. That's going to be fun. Okay, so I need to do that. There's a lot of stuff I've been sharing in here that you guys are not seeing. So let me start and do that. So this is a good time for all of you to look at asking any other questions that you may that you may have. Okay. Wow. Hang tight while I do this. Oh my. Yeah, I was sharing a lot in here.
All right. So do you want to be on camera or you just want an audio permission? Let's see if you have that permission already. I can hear you.
Hello.
Hi,
this is Sina Colton. I'm the director for the Center for Career Development, and I love all that has been said today. And I still don't feel camera ready because I don't have my lips on, so I still don't.
It's okay. No worries.
It's all good.
But what I would love to say to the students who are listening, anyone who takes the time to follow these recommendations and would like for us to just give their LinkedIn profile a browse, we would love to do so. So you can reach out to any of the career specialists or myself in the Center for Career Development, and we would be happy to virtually go through your LinkedIn profile and give recommendations based on today's webinar to help you to improve your LinkedIn profile. So certainly reach out to the Center for Career Development, morgan.edu/career development, and you can reach out to any one of us for assistance. And again, thank you both for your time today. This has been a wonderful webinar, so much so that I need to go and update my profile.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right. Brian, do you have anything to add, or is that it?
I mean, I can talk forever on this stuff. It's why I do what I do. But I just don't want to leave you with this, guys. And it looks like Shauna has her hand raised. I want you to remember something I said earlier. It's really important, okay? You have a voice in a story that matters, and a voice in a story that could positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life by showing up and by being you. Show up. Show up just the way you do now. You're just doing it differently. You're doing it digitally. And remember, it's all about being human first. And again, if you have questions, I'm happy to help. The key is just start. The most important thing you can do is just start. You can come up with every reason under the sun as to why you can't. And I say that because that was me. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You're your own worst critic. We are our own worst critics. Everybody else doesn't care. They really don't. So if you just start, and just every day is day one, and just start taking little tiny steps, because every step you take matters. And when you are at a point where you're uncomfortable, I want you to realize that that is when you're growing, and you will look back and go, wow, that was a really big inflection point for me. I didn't even realize it at the time. Just keep going, keep getting up, keep starting, and find your groove, be consistent, and realize that your tribe is out there waiting for you. All you have to do is show up.
Thank you so much, and thanks for everyone that attended. It's been amazing. I'm going to send the recording when it's done, downloaded in the cloud to the Morgan State Carrier Service Department. I think I'm going to send it to Renisha or Winona or Sienna, any of you guys, and have all your emails. And it's going to be sent out to all the students. You can definitely connect with Brian and myself. You will have seen our profile a million times.
Yes, send a personalized invite. Send a personalized invite and say, hey, thank you so much for joining us today as a speaker for today's event. Like, just specify that. Morgan State University.
Practicing.
Yes, that's a great step for you of sending that personal message. But do that, because if you don't, I will miss it. You have to send a personalized message in it so that I don't miss you. All right.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to end the recording now. Thank you guys so much. It's been amazing. And I hope to have more next time. Bye-bye.